Halo, selamat datang di Tales of Arise. Kita udah sampai di Forbidden Area. Sebelumnya saya udah farming, udah grinding, naikin level, dan juga menyelesaikan misi, side mission. Jadi saya udah naikin level, udah naikin skill pointnya juga. Dan sekarang kita akan lanjut ke Forbidden Zone. Ini ada skill baru nih, apa ya? The Art of Conversation.
Tell me, Dohalim, has that skill of yours got a name?
And what skill would this be, pray tell?
You know, when you're talking to people around town, the way they suddenly become putty in your hands.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow.
I do. It's called friendly intimidation. Look imposing and speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto, you'll have people wrapped around your finger in no time.
I would never stoop to such scandalous tricks. Any feelings of intimidation are solely in the eye of the beholder.
So there is a knack to it! How do you learn it? Can anyone do it?
Now you've got me curious. Is there special training to master?
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must. Oh, and it helps to be old-fashioned, too. Bonus points if you speak in a way no one can understand.
If you've a bone to pick with me, it'd be quicker to just come out and say it.
What? They look up to you, that's all. I'm just helping them along.
Hey! What's got into Alvin and Law all of a sudden? I can barely understand a word they're saying. And what's with the weird poses? Was it something they ate?
I hope you're willing to take the blame for this one.
I wasn't expecting them to take me so seriously. I'll go and have a word with them.
Lo sama Alvan terkesima dengan Dohalim yang cara bicaranya itu bisa bikin orang-orang yang di Rena itu terkesima gitu ya, takjub. Terus kelihatan kayak berwibawa lah Dohalimnya. Yap, kisarannya bilang rahasianya adalah dengan bicara dengan cara yang artinya nggak jelas, terus dengan pose-pose yang intimidasi gitu. Lo sama Alvan terima itu mentah-mentah ya. Nah, kita akan lawan bos nih pastinya ya. Dan akan melihat rahasia-rahasia yang selama ini masih belum bisa kejawab semuanya. Ada bos apa nih? Ada seseorang? Varia ya?
Faria? How did you get in here?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
Dark Master Core. Wow.
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of power
We
when...
can talk later. Here it comes!
Fermented limbs.
I've never known Faria to get those noodles like that before.
How about with a stone that looks suspiciously like a master core? Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handle the Zugals. Then we get some answers.
Oh.
Just as well I can't stop.
Aduh, terlalu dekat. Ya Allah. Belum apa-apa udah tewas. Please, hidupin please. Thank you. Wow.
This one's mine. Not on my watch. A chain between heaven and earth.
Yes, core break. Yo, ajar. Oh, breaknya cuma segitu doang. Sebentar benar. Waduh.
No further. Will this
Can you
help?
take it? Tempt it.
Healing circle! In here!
Sorry.
I'll be saving this one for me! Thanks so much! Goodbye!
Time to let it rip.
Hit! Take that! Here I go! One last one! Magic is there! Air annihilation! Magna ray!
I'm ready.
Dohaline!
Light burst forth.
Radiant genesis! I'll heal you all! Here comes!
Burn in hell.
Get ready to go! Healing circle! Magic is there! Air seal!
Setengah nyawanya. Ini biasanya kalau udah setengah, bosnya akan over limit.
In a bind.
If it's in the sky, it's a win! Air
Aih, dia akan teleport ke sini. Teleport lagi. Ah, jauh. Aduh, teleport lagi. Aduh, sial.
Can't get out of this. Shine. Radiant light. Regeneration. Regenerate.
Hai, itu jurus yang bisa ngeluarin bola-bola itu berbahaya banget. Oke, pakai air thrust aja deh. Air thrust biarpun cuma 4 doang, tapi dia bisa kenanya berkali-kali. Karena ada tangannya dan badannya itu terpisah, bisa kita damage dua-duanya. Oh enggak deh, cuma 4 doang ternyata ya. Oh enggak. Ah, teleport lagi. Aduh, sial. Yuh.
Take this.
Teleport lagi sih. Aduh. Lagi kah teleport? Jangan pakai jurus dulu deh.
Anything in armor is all mine. Shine. Armor won't save you. I'm ready. In an instant. Impact block.
Lumayan susah. Tapi berhasil, sekali ngelawan, berhasil menang deh. Varianya kenapa nih dalam
Now
kondisi
it's just her.
brainwash?
Varia. Can you hear me? Varia.
She's preparing another summoning! The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more. Dohaline!
Forgive me.
Kalau ditembak sekali aja kok core-nya hancur, kenapa nggak dari tadi aja ya nembak ya?
Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I meant you.
Shion, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically. We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer. Don't you think?
In that case,
I'll take her off your hands.
You?
Avakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnigan. about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost loved ones if it wasn't for me.
You're wrong. Kelzalik was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almadria. As for Tarnagan, if it weren't for the crown contest, he'd still be alive. That and the whole damn hierarchy that makes it possible. But that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole messed up system that treats people as expendable.
Indeed. Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I know how to atone for my sins.
You can't atone, Dohalim. I know it hurts to hear, but those people are dead. No amount of soul-searching or trying to make amends is going to change that. Forgiveness, acceptance, those ships have sailed.
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. And then you go on living. Not for those already passed, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others. Lives being the operative word.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your conscience go away.
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim, not for yesterday. And not only that, you need to live for yourself, and for the change that you still can be.
I shall try.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shion,
Huh?
thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for what you did for Faria.
Glad to be of service. I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same team, right? Let's move on.
Oke, kita move on. Maju ke Forbidden Zone berikutnya. Oke, cover dulu. Faria udah di tangan Avakir. Dohalim dia masih terbayang-bayang dengan masa lalunya dia. Karena dia membuat Migal dan juga temannya dia itu meninggal. Apa nih, Rinwell?
What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah. It's that voice.
The will of Dahna's astral energy.
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
Apa yang terjadi masa lalu mereka 300 tahun yang lalu?
That was
Maidennya
the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her. It reminds me of Xion's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that?
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dahna.
But the will of Dahna is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions... I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dahna's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure!
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over theories will get us nowhere.
Let's keep moving. If it's Dahna's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth, then I want to find out more.
Xion's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, there could be truths in them I was never aware of. And I think they may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if we're going to keep fighting.
I'm sorry about what I said earlier. Come on, let's go.
Finally, we begin to understand what the thorns are.
Yes, and their source. A ceremony that occurred 3 centuries ago.
But we still don't know how to get rid of them. I just hope we can find a way.
thornnya dari 300 tahun yang lalu yang keluar dari Naori. Kayaknya terbentuk dari astral energy. Entah astral energy dari Dahna kah atau astral energy darkness yang dari Renan kah. Mana Thorn itu sekarang masih ada sampai ke keturunan-keturunannya, yaitu si Xion ini. Dan masih belum 4 tahun nih. Thorn ini tuh gimana sih? Buat apa sih?
Soon, we might very well learn the truth behind Xion's thorns, as well as my own past. I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever happens. I'm determined to save Xion and Dahna. Nothing I learn can change that.
Kirain tadi pilihan itu akan menuju ke ini. Pilihan akan terus, nggak bisa balik lagi atau... tapi kita CP-nya tinggal sedikit. Tinggal 100. Ya udahlah, maju aja deh. Males balik lagi ke kota, terus kesininya lagi harus lawan musuh-musuh yang ini, musuh-musuh biasa. Ada Varia, ada Pon, aduh nanti
Hold
aja
up,
deh.
you guys.
What is it?
I want to look through that room over there. I'm curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right? Sure. We can check it out.
Ini tempatnya Alvan dulu waktu dia punya flashback masa lalu. Ada apa ini isinya? Misteri
This
apa lagi kah?
looks like some kind of research facility.
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone. Why am I past being surprised at this point?
Looks pretty deserted.
Let's check it out. It might give us a new lead.
Ini ada tabung yang gede banget. Buat nampung manusia kayaknya ini. Jadi bahan percobaan.
I think I can make this work.
Well, can you make head or tail of it?
These are experiment records by the looks of it. Reams of them, dating back hundreds of years. Let's see. A composite being capable of controlling Dahna astral energy so as to convert its molecular and elemental makeup. The creation of a governing central figure taking the form of a Dahnan. Codename Sovereign.
Sovereign.
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of stable astral energy containment. That must be the master cores. With all this raw data, there's bound to be records here somewhere about the Maiden and the Lords, too.
About the Lords? Why would they be on there?
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with those of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise regular Renan citizens. In other words, it may be that all Renans are unwittingly being made subject to some kind of grand scheme.
What about the Sovereign? Does it say anything else?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here. To sift through all of it would require specialized... Wait.
What is it? Did you find something?
It's a list of names, with the title, Test Subjects, Sovereign. It's your call.
Read it.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. All of them failures. Wait, I think I've found one that was successful. Test subject number 1273. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Alphen.
They re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Alphen.
It's fine, really. What about the others? Was I the only one?
Test subject number 10105. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Volron.
Volron? But that means...
He's only sovereign because someone made him that way too.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Volron are the only 2 subjects on whom the experiment was a success.
But what about the winners of the crown contests? Does this mean that none of them were ever crowned sovereign after all?
Upon victory, the Sovereign shall return to Rena and rule over Rena and Lenegis combined. When a new Sovereign is decided, the outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post, and live out the rest of their days on Rena. So we were told. But according to these records, there have only ever been 2 sovereigns, neither of whom had anything to do with the crown contest. It's all lies, including the part about the sovereign residing in Rena. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have been devised for some other purpose.
But even supposing that's true, someone must have been in charge for the past 3 centuries, right? If it wasn't the Sovereign, then who was it?
Crown contests have been held this whole time, in spite of the fact that there was already a sovereign. Me. Meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie. The same person I'm willing to bet is behind all this.
The Red Woman?
It's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's the mastermind behind this scheme. She could be working for someone else. Someone back on the Renan homeworld.
Either way, it's fair to say she's definitely involved somehow.
What about the data records? Is there no other information that could help us?
Not that I can see. Just file upon file of experiment results. There's nothing here about who's behind all this, or what their endgame is, unfortunately. I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you. You won't be able to read through it all, but you're welcome to take a look through what you can, while we're here.
I'll do that.
So this is where Alphen became the Sovereign, and Volron as well. The significance of this location would suggest...
Hey, it looks like the terminals in here turned on too.
We should look through them. They might contain valuable information.
Lihat-lihat dulu deh, ini apa ya? Select a topic to explore. Lords. It's crown contest, 5 of the best qualified members of the Renan populace are chosen to act as lord, vying to serve as the next sovereign. Okay. During their tenure, they are granted level 3 authority as well as 5 element realm, blah 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 blah. They are also assigned an ID crest indicating their designated element, and the selection is based only on the blah 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 blah. Because only strongest gone to become lords, the position itself does not inherently make an individual any stronger. It should be noted, however, that lords are not the only individual capable of throwing out the master core's power. Aduh, panjang juga ya. It is not allowed to decline in the event that an acting lord is capacitated. Select a topic to explore. Oke, udah selesai semuanya. Banyak ya. The Sovereign acts as Lenegis central control blah 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 blah. Each one is granted level 2 authority and ID crest. And then subject serves as the base of its creation. In theory, ideal candidates possess equal infinity of forever every astral element. However, such substitute is statistically rare to uncover within the real world conditions. As a result, most subjects die during the adjustment period. Stability, blah 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 blah. This instability, coupled with the sovereign's powers of astral manipulation, pose a high risk to the security of the legacy if left unchecked. As such, stabilization measures must be put in place via the support mechanism. Aduh, ya Allah, banyak banget. Addendum 1, no effective, alternate methods, blah blah. Addendum 2, unit 2 adjustments are success. Subsequent adjustments are to be put on hold for extended, blah blah. Aduh, males bacanya, panjang. Ini Master Course, Spirit Course. Sana Lenegis, Detach, Harvester, Sedative Mass, Brainwashing Report. Oke lah. Jadi ini laboratorium di mana mereka mencetak Sovereign. Jadi Sovereign ini bukannya dari Crown Contest, dan itu sepertinya adalah kebohongan. sovereign itu diciptakan, dan Alphen adalah orang pertama yang berhasil menjadi sovereign, sedangkan yang lainnya gagal meninggal. Dan sovereign berikutnya adalah tes subjek 10.000 sekian, itu adalah full run. Jadi sekian lamanya 300 tahun sudah berlalu, ada full run yang menjadi sovereign kedua. Jadi Alphen yang pertama, full run yang kedua, dan selama 300 tahun ini yang jadi dalangnya di balik ini tuh masih belum ketahuan siapa ya. Karena kalau misalkan 300 tahun menjalani crown contest, pastinya ada dalang lah ya. Karena ada dalang yang harus bisa nipu. Kalau crown contest itu adalah untuk menjadi sovereign. Oh, live battle 3. Sekarang saya punya berapa nih live battle-nya? 13. Oke lah, kita ambil. Mau bazir 1 tapi nggak apa-apa. Sovereign itu crown contest itu bukan untuk mencetak crown contest, tapi nggak tahu buat apa. Kalau crown contest itu nggak untuk mencetak sovereign, tapi untuk apa gitu ya. Dan kebohongan itu harus ada dalangnya nih. Jadi kita nggak tahu siapa dalang di balik ini yang bisa harus maintain kebohongan selama 300 tahun. Oh, ternyata Great Gel. Apa nih? Untuk monitoring. Ternyata kompleks juga ya ceritanya. Jadi crown contest itu buat apa gitu? Mungkin untuk mengumpulkan astral energy, dana astral energy. Dan astral energy ini nggak tahu untuk dipakai buat apa ya. Oh, memori lagi. Ada astral energy yang baru, memorinya Neori nih.
Naori,
Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dahna. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
but you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill. I'm sorry for what you've endured. Rena never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain. Time to go, Elfin. Farewell.
Naori...
His injuries are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode. The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system. But... If I don't head back, Lenegis will be nothing but ashes, and this starship along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Alphen. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try. I hope it's enough. Please, live for me, Alphen. That vision. It must have been from when Naori helped Alphen escape Lenegis.
She sure went above and beyond the call of duty.
Even with Lenegis crumbling down around her, she chose to stay put with her people.
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain, and why you were asleep for that whole time. It was all the result of one agonizing decision Naori made to save your life.
Yeah. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't even be alive today. I owe her everything. More than I could ever hope to repay.
Now that you know how she felt, how do you plan on honoring her wishes?
She kept her promise. If the Renan people she fought so desperately to protect are at risk from a malevolent force, then I owe it to her to carry on her fight. Naori was the one who put that mask on me, and made me Iron Mask.
She did it to prevent your soul from tearing itself apart. She knew you might lose your memories and sense of pain as a result. But more than anything, she wanted you to survive. And you did.
Ya, semuanya karena Neori, dia yang naruh Alphen di healing pot itu. Cuma karena lukanya Alphen itu parah, makanya Neori itu pasang mode-nya long term hibernation ya, jadi hibernasi lama yang kesempatan untuk chance untuk hidupnya 10%, kurang dari 10%. Dan topeng itu yang akan menghilangkan rasa sakitnya Alphen. Mengandung sedatif juga yang membuat Alphen itu tertidur, dan semakin lama Alphen menggunakan topeng akan rusak otaknya, mainnya akan rusak. Ini semoga nggak bos karena belum nge-heal sama sekali. CP-nya tinggal 135. Heavy treat. Sebelah sana kosong. Karena Neorinya adalah seorang Renan, jadi dia tinggal di Denegis ngebantuin orang-orangnya. Denegisnya itu hancur berantakan ya. Ternyata Alphen selama 300 tahun ternyata masih hidup.
This place. We've seen this in one of Naori's memories.
Of course. After 300 years, this is where it was held. The spirit channeling ceremony. This is where the Renaissance was.
So this is the place where you and Naori...
The Renaissance isn't here now. Nor is the Red Woman, it seems.
I know it's difficult, Alphen, but there will be time to dwell on the past later. For now, we need to keep moving. Come on.
Naori.
What is this? Is it the work of Dahna's will again?
It's been a year since the ceremony. That day, I shut away inside of myself the power that caused Alphen to lose control. Since then, my visions of the future have grown more and more fearsome.
Is this another memory? No, it's different this time. It's like she's speaking directly to us.
What we did back then. Not so much as a day passes when I don't think about it. About what was done to us. All in the name of a ceremony. The purpose of which we were never even told. As sovereign, they linked Alphen's consciousness to Lenegis itself. The Renis Alma was intended to control his power, lest anything should slip through its cracks. That day, as Maiden, my role was to temper his power. I was meant to guide it forth, and give shape to the strength inside of him.
Linked to Lenegis itself? But then, everything that's been happening...
But that power showed me a vision. A vision of oblivion. When I realized that vision was a prophecy of the apocalypse we were about to unleash, I couldn't go through with it. But without a maiden, the ceremony was doomed. Alphen lashed out, his consciousness no longer his own. I did what I could. Using my abilities as the Maiden, I tried to seal that power away inside of me. But it was too late. Lenegus had already been brought to its knees. Thousands upon thousands of lives so cruelly snuffed out. All because of me. Because of what I had done. With the destructive force now slumbering inside of me, I knew I had to find a way to dispose of it. Anything to make up for my failure. But I didn't know how. Especially since that power was astral energy itself. In which case, ironically enough, the Renis Alma seemed to be my best bet. That, at least, would hold the astral energy dormant. Assuming that no malevolent third party got to it first. With the Sovereign and Maiden's combined power, perhaps I could shift the chaotic energy inside me into the Renis Alma instead. That's what I hoped, but alas, it was not to be. The Renis Alma was lost, and Alphen the Sovereign was in a starship bound for Dahna. My only choice was to seal away the destructive force inside of me using my powers as the Maiden, to buy the world what little time I could. The time needed for a new Renis Alma to be crafted, and for a new Sovereign to appear. Even if by doing so, it meant I would be passing the curse on to my descendants as well. Please, forgive me. I never meant to burden the future world with this threat too. I only wish that there was something more I could have done.
Wait, you can't just...
Naori.
That message just now, was it directly from Naori? Or was it the Dahnan voice speaking through her?
What?
These are the clothes that Naori and I wore during the ceremony 3 centuries ago.
So you're saying this is the Maiden's outfit?
That's right. These clothes are designed to resonate with the Sovereign and Maiden's abilities. They focus and enhance them.
And they appeared now because...
Naori must have left them here for the new Sovereign and Maiden, knowing the day would come when they would need them in their fight against the Thorns.
These outfits are directly linked to the answers we've been chasing this whole time. If they're here, it must mean it was Naori's will for us to find those answers as well.
Locating the Renis Alma would allow us to neutralize the dark astral energy inside Xion, thereby silencing her thorns. Is that what Naori's suggesting?
It makes sense. After all, Master Cores and Spirit Vessels are both able to prevent the astral energy inside them from developing sentience. By that logic, it would stand to reason that the Renis Alma would have the same ability on a larger scale.
We have a Maiden and Sovereign. Now all we need is the Renis Alma, and we'll finally be able to free you of your thorns. Xion.
It's possible? You really think so?
I do. We can rid you of your thorns and stop the world from falling to oblivion.
However, the spirit channeling ceremony already failed once. Even if our goal is different this time, we can't be sure the same thing won't happen again. We should take care not to be too optimistic.
You're right. It's the barest sliver of a chance. But if there's even the slightest hope it can work, I'm willing to stake everything I've got on it.
I know it's too early to let myself feel relieved, but I just can't seem to help it. Just hearing there's the slightest chance, even though I know the world's still in great peril. It's selfish of me, I know, but still.
No, it isn't. You found hope to believe in. It'd be strange if you weren't over the moon about it.
Rinwell's right. We can rid you of your curse and still save the world at the same time.
Thank you. Naori entrusted us with the fate of all humanity. Now, it's up to us to prove that trust was well placed.
Starting with a little game called Hunt the Renis Alma.
Yeah, we've come all this way. Now we just need to search Lenegis and Rena until we find it.
Yeah, we can protect the world and save Shion at the same time.
I too shall lend my services. My knowledge of Renan lore is bound to be a useful asset.
And they say modesty is dead.
Miracles just seem to follow wherever you go, huh?
How do you know it's me they're following? We're all in this together, Shion. You included. Now let's get moving, shall we? Last I heard, we had an apocalypse to stop. Thank you, Naori. So Naori sealed away the power that made me lose control of myself. She stopped my rampage and saved my life. But then, that power she'd sealed away was passed down to you. I'm so sorry, Shion. It's my fault that you're cursed.
You're wrong. What happened to you was because of the ceremony and Naori's attempt to stop Oblivion. You paid a heavy price for it, and then fell asleep for 300 years. The reason you lost your memories.
Is the reason for your curse.
The thorns.
It all leads back to them. But once they're gone, we can finally put an end to all this.
When my thorns are gone, I never dared to dream that such a thing could be possible. No. The truth is, I think maybe I've always been dreaming about a life without my thorns. The touch of my family, or playing with my friends, holding hands with Rinwell, or giving Law a deserved smack, embracing everyone. All the normal things that people do together. I always wished I could experience them for myself, and finally know what they were like. Is it really okay for me to believe it can happen? I'm so scared of getting my hopes up. What if it doesn't work out in the end, and...
That's not going to happen. I'm here to make sure it won't. Forget fate or destiny or anything else. We're going to live a normal life. There are a lot of things you still want to do, right?
Yeah, you're right. It's such a strange feeling. I know that we've still got plenty of fighting up ahead, and it's for my sake, so I can live.
You're worth fighting for.
I believe you, Alphen.
Good. I'll keep on fighting. For as long as it takes. Until our future is finally in our hands.
Oh, ternyata... Oh, kebuka emblem baru. Shion, latest maiden. Shion ini keturunan Naori dan dia diturunkan, Thorn-nya itu diturunkan sampai akhirnya dari Naori ke si Shion ini gitu. Wow, revitalized, tapi butuh 600. All allies HP butuh CP 80. Wow, gede juga. Sodale Artalis, a sword given to the chosen sovereign that draws out all of their latent power. Gam Artalis, Lazepiar Quiz, dapat senjatanya. Oh, berubah tampilannya ya. Sodale Artalis, attack-nya tambah gede banget. Gam Artalis ini juga sama, tambah gede, tapi gunnya nggak berubah ternyata. Oke, jadi Neori ini kan di dalam Neori itu ada Thorn ya. Thorn itu adalah apa nih? Oh, the pedestal where the reference element sat 300 years ago, now it gives no trace of power. Jadi Thorn itu ada di dalam dirinya Neori, dan itu adalah sebuah astral energy. Jadi sama kayak waktu kita di Balsep itu lawan di Calaglia, spirit astral energinya itu semakin gede akan berubah menjadi bentuk lah, jadi kayak monster itu. Nah, di dalam dirinya Sion itu juga sama. Itu ada banyak astral energi yang begitu kuat, banyak, sehingga Thorn itu adalah bentuk dari astral energinya dia. Dan bentuk dari astral energinya dia itu adalah sangat kuat sampai bisa membuat Thornya itu tuh akan menjadi membuat kiamat gitu. Cuman karena takut dulu waktu 300 tahun yang lalu, karena takut Neori ngelihat penglihatan itu tentang adanya kiamat karena Thorn, makanya dia berusaha untuk berusaha untuk menahan dia nggak keluar. Tapi malah gara-gara itu kekuatan Alphen sebagai sovereign itu malah jadinya keluar gitu, malah jadi nggak ketahan. Sebenarnya kan Maiden dan sovereign itu sama-sama bareng-bareng gitu ya, untuk menahan kekuatan mereka berdua saling seimbang, dan bertujuan untuk memasukkan astral energi di dalam Neori itu masuk ke dalam Renas Alma gitu. Karena Renas Alma itu bisa menampung astral energi. Nah, bisa menampung astral energi seperti master core lainnya bisa menampung astral energi, dan Renas Alma itu bisa menampung astral energi yang lebih besar lagi gitu. Jadi memang diperuntukkan seperti itu. Tapi malah kekuatan sovereignnya malah ya, karena Neorinya berusaha untuk menekan si Thornya itu, kekuatan sovereign yang ada di Alphen itu malah jadi keluar gitu, nggak ketahan. Makanya terjadilah seperti itu. Alphennya udah dikirim ke Dahna, udah nggak ada sovereign lagi, makanya ya cuma nunggu ini doang, nunggu sovereign yang baru yang bisa membantu Thorn inilah, bisa menghilangkan Thorn ini. Memang harus ada sovereign dan ada Maiden.
That's quite some door, all right. This might finally be it. The heart of the beast.
We'll find the Renis Alma and the Red Woman inside, right?
After everything we've been through to get here, they damn well better be.
We'll probably be needing you to open this one for us, Sovereign.
Go for it, Alphen.
Di dalam ada Red Woman. Kayaknya akan melawan bos lagi. Belum nge-heal lagi sama sekali.
This is it, guys. Time to see what secrets are in store.
Oke, ini saatnya ketemu dengan Red Woman. Dan yes. Ada heal. Top secret area, Forbidden Zone. Semoga udah cukup kuat melawan bos yang selanjutnya.
Volron! He really was still alive.
And there's the Renis Alma. Then, is this another spirit channeling ceremony?
Wait, though. Something doesn't seem right here.
Once more, the powers must be united. Born from the fires of chaos, the world does seek its rightful state. All must be sacrificed in the heart of Rena, at the shrine of the true sovereign.
What has happened to him? He's lost himself, reduced to a mere cog in a machine.
Hey, look! Over there!
Isn't that the Maiden's crest?
Can it be that this entire chamber is meant to act as a substitute for the Maiden?
It looks like it's still running, but are we already too late to stop the ceremony?
If that's what caused Lenegis' transformation, then the purpose of the ceremony must have been to drain all the astral energy out of Dahna.
But for what purpose? What could possibly need astral energy on that sort of scale?
I don't know. But whatever it is, I'll bet it's connected to those visions of oblivion. Regardless, we cannot stand by and let them steal Dahna's energy. That said, we should retrieve the Renaissance. Because right now, we need that most of all.
He's not gonna lunge at us out of nowhere, right?
Not the time, Law.
Alphen, look!
The Red Woman! So we finally found you. I have a lot of questions for you.
Wait!
What?
They all have the same face? How is that even possible? What is this?
Who the hell are they?
It can't... Are they even people?
It's hard to know for sure, but I think they're the true rulers of Rena.
Red Woman kali 3.
They're not feeling particularly
Ada 3, 280.
If we don't fight, we may as well be sitting ducks here.
Good point. Let's stop them before this gets out of hand.
Lawan 3 lah biji. Berubah jadi kayak mesin-mesin gini. Kesini. Keluarin gear-gear gitu. Kirain akan. Woi, ada yang kesini. Oke, dia serangannya gear-gearnya itu entah dia bawa muter-muter atau dia serang ke ya, itu dia muter-muter kan ya. Atau gearnya itu nyerang lurus. Over limit. Wow. Aser. Woi, kesini. Ouch. Waduh, dia pecah 3. Wow. Kayaknya semuanya aman. Ada lagi. Duh, Alphen, Sion kena lagi. Ouch. Sion dan kenapa dia nggak nge-heal sama sekali ya dirinya sendiri? Halo.
Air thrust! Not in your dreams!
Dragon form! Radiant light! Force of regeneration!
Chain between heaven and earth! A wailing banshee of lightning! Divine dance in the wind!
I'm sorry it's
Air thrust! You do the same for me. Dance in the wind! Air thrust! A chain between heaven and earth!
benediction light.
Radiant divine savior! Air thrust!
Dia lasaran akan kemana? Aish, udah halim. Oh, lebih aman di tengah, di pinggir-pinggiran daripada di ujung, di tengah-tengah.
I can carve through arm on the cross.
A chain between heaven and earth! A wailing banshee of light! Divine savior!
Kabur.
Dance in the wind! Air thrust!
No further.
Not on my watch! Will this help?
Megasonic thrust. Flaming tide.
I'll heal you all! Divine savior! Dance in the wind! Air thrust!
Easter.
Healing chain between heaven and earth! A wailing banshee of lightning!
Resonate with the earth.
Divine savior! That'll bring you down! Dance in the wind!
Here I come. I'll smash you. Air toucher.
All disasters make
Leave the charge to me. Far enough.
Oh.
Maelstrom!
On your knees.
Oh.
Dance in the wind! Air thrust!
Heal.
Au, wow. Hampir aja. Aman, nggak ada yang kena lasernya.
Ignite. In a bind.
Dance in the wind! Air thrust! A chain between
Ah,
Dance in the wind!
Light burst forth.
Radiant genesis!
udah selesai. Ternyata nggak sesusah dugaan.
Surrender! Fighting is useless now!
Do you think it's really over?
Astral energy. Watch out! They've got something up their sleeve!
What?
It's self-destructed?
Alphen!
I'm okay. Just a little roughed up.
You had me worried there.
Who said you could touch that?
Damn it! He's awake!
I should have thought as much.
So you know this place?
Naturally, it was built for me, after all. We'll save that for another time. More pressing is how I'm going to tear you apart.
Even after all this time, you still insist on hating me?
You cut me down. Sovereign or not, you will pay for that.
You're obviously bluffing. You can't even move right now.
Really, is that what you think? Did you really think that such a petty device could hold me?
Are you going to claim it's because you're a ruler? Be it sovereigns or lords. In the end, they're all titles given by someone else.
Plus, what kind of ruler would spend all his time chasing Alf, who happens to be another sovereign?
Idle prattle. I proved my worth and the Sovereign's powers were granted to me.
Were they really? We already know the title of Sovereign doesn't denote royalty. It is but an overblown codename for those with a designated part to play in these proceedings. You mentioned before that you were not the only one stolen from Dahna, correct?
Yeah. There were countless. And every one of them besides me died.
All of those failed experiments, and they still kept going back to Dahna. There must have been some vital reason their subject had to specifically be a Danan. Then there were the records we found in the library, for you and Volron. They were logged 300 years apart, and yet the data they took from you was exactly the same. Which leads us to a single conclusion.
Then you mean Voron was kidnapped just like Alphen? But then he became a...
A slave from Dahna. Just like us. Isn't that right, Volron?
So he posed as a Renan and caused all that suffering to his own people?
How could you? If you knew the pain of being a slave, why would you inflict that upon others?
Renan and Dahna are meaningless distinctions. Me and everyone else. That is all that matters. I will stand above all others and take what is rightfully mine, starting with this.
A red woman?
Another one?
Give your master back on Rena this message. No one makes a fool of me. Let them know I'll make them suffer.
Don't do it!
Rena's
It's too late. You can't stay here.
We need to go. Alphen!
Go. But know I will be your shadow no matter where you try to run.
Let's go.
Never forget, I am the one who devours everything. Who answers to neither spirit nor man. My word is law. I am...
Are you two okay?
Yeah. We'll be fine.
Is Volron... have we finally seen the last of him?
We can but hope.
Those red women. What the heck was their deal?
Could they be the ones behind all this? The same ones who put those soldiers and Faria in a trance?
What, those brainless things? Either way, they've done a runner with the Renasalma. Damn it, that's the second time now!
Whatever's stolen from us, we'll steal it back. The future's ours to protect. And right now, those things are what's standing in our way. We can head them off at Rena.
Did you say Rena?
Volron mentioned a master of theirs holed up in the motherland somewhere.
If that monstrous form's their true identity, I shudder to think who they take orders from.
Yeah. There's a good chance it's not human. That's for sure.
So this thing over on Rena, that's what's really behind all this, huh?
They have the Renasalma in their grasp already, so it's unlikely they'll have cause to return to Dahna. I agree that Rena's our best shot.
Then we're agreed. Let's head back to the starship.
But seriously, I was not expecting Voron to actually be here.
He seemed to care not one whit about Renans or Dahnans.
Yeah, and not in a good way like with us.
Voron dia juga seorang Dahnan yang dipaksa menjadi test subject untuk menjadi sovereign. Tapi bedanya dengan Alphen, Voron ini orangnya egois karena dia cuma mentingin diri sendiri dan nggak mentingin orang lain. Cuman antara dia atau orang lain. Dia cuma peduli akan kekuasaan dengan kekuatan gitu. Dan karena ada Voron di sebelah sana dan kemudian nggak bisa fast travel ternyata. Ada Voron nggak bisa fast travel ya. Ya, sudahlah. Ada Voron dan juga ada device tadi ya ditahan, yang menahan Voron itu device Maiden, makanya Renegis bisa berubah bentuk menjadi bisa berubah melempar wedge altar chamber. Dan Salma dibawa pergi oleh Red Woman. Mungkin tujuan kita sekarang adalah ke Rena, planet Rena. Jadi ada masternya dari Voron, masternya dari Red Woman, dan semuanya itu tinggalnya bersembunyi di Rena. Jadi kita akan menuju ke planet Rena. Kita akan lihat nih planet kayak gimana sih planetnya. Mungkin gak ada manusia ya, atau robot isinya di sebelah sana. Karena Red Woman sendiri aja cloningan sama persis semuanya, dan mereka berubah wujud menjadi robot-robotan. Udah sedikit-sedikit udah mulai kebuka mengenai spirit channeling itu, ceremony itu, kemudian Renas Alma tujuannya untuk apa. Dan tapi masih belum ketahuan nih beberapa. Bisa nge-heal nih. Akan ada bos lagi kah? Waduh. Bos yang satu dengan yang lainnya. Ini masih banyak misterinya nih. Kita masih belum tahu kenapa sih Dahnan yang diambil menjadi sovereign, terus yang lain-lainnya kemana lord-lord yang menang crown contest. Masternya siapa gitu. Bener-bener dong nggak bisa fast travel. Berarti ini akan ketemu musuh-musuh lagi dong. Ya, sikah lawan musuh. Coba pancing dulu deh. Males saya. Pancing, ayo sini. Ya. Halo, ciluk mbak. Ya, gak bisa. Sudahlah. Voron, biarpun dia Dahna, tapi dia tetap aja ngebunuh, nyiksa mereka Dahnan juga.
This one's got your name on it! With this, I can become even stronger.
Iya, berliku-liku. Planet Rena, kita akan bertemu dengan makhluk yang kayak gimana ya di Rena sana. Apakah ketemu dengan alien-alien atau ternyata isinya cuma robot-robotan aja. Bye, kita kabur. Males melawan. Kita udah ke daerah Kotaknya, Lenegis. Ada kejutan nggak ya? Oke.
What the?
Loh,
When did it get pitch dark all of a sudden?
The lights are all out. Think it has something to do with the explosion back in the Forbidden Zone? Doe?
You two.
Faria, Avakir. Thank goodness you're safe.
Avakir filled me in about everything. About how I ambushed you all.
She doesn't remember a thing, so she really was being controlled.
He told me about Tarnigan, too. Is it true?
What difference does it make? What's done is done.
Stop casting me off, just for once!
Faria, not now. It can wait. Dohalim, Lenegis is in grave peril.
So I can see.
It's the city's core reactor. It's damaged. Some of the basic systems we've managed to keep online, but complete restoration's still a way off.
You're an elite technician, though. You can fix it, right?
If so, then what's the problem?
Panic's begun to set in among the citizens. Until now, whenever something like this happened, the Sovereign would issue a decree. But this time, not so much as a peep. Any longer, and we run the risk of riots breaking out before we can get things back up and running.
Forget the Sovereign. I doubt you'll be hearing from him anytime soon.
What's that supposed to mean? Do you know something I don't?
Suffice it to say, the Sovereign isn't the kind of ruler we thought he was. That is, if he ever even existed, which is looking doubtful at this stage.
Are you out of your mind? Why, if people knew that a lord such as yourself was whispering such blasphemy, they'd...
There's no time to explain now. It sounds like we need to find a way to keep Lenegis from spiraling out of control.
We need to stop that riot.
But how do we do that?
Riots feed on discontent and unrest, right? So if we want to keep the peace, we just need to put people's minds at ease.
At ease? Like by letting them hear directly from someone they trust. That's it. Who's the highest-ranking person in Lenegis right now?
Lenegis wouldn't have a next in line. After all, you said the Sovereign rules over everyone directly, right?
Correct. The closest thing to an authority figure would be a lord. And the only one left is... Ah. Very well then. Avakir, you mentioned a few facilities were still online. Which ones?
Why hasn't the Sovereign said anything?
Please, won't somebody explain what's going on?
Is it over? What's going to happen to all of us?
Heed me now, fellow Renans of Lenegis. It is I, Lord Dohalim Ilkaris of Eldaman and Sia.
Look, up there! It's Lord Dohalim!
Hold on! He should be in the crown contest! Shouldn't he? Why isn't the Sovereign talking to us?
The Sovereign is seeing to other matters right now. In my capacity as Lord, I speak to you in his stead. You're afraid. As people so often are when faced with the unknown. I hope you'll allow me to put your fears to rest. The city's core reactor has experienced a malfunction. However, we have our top engineers attending to the matter, and things will soon be back to normal. I know that you feel abandoned, perhaps more scared and alone than ever before. But I ask you all to keep one thing in mind. You are Lenegis, not the lords and sovereign. The solidarity of its citizens is the mortar that holds it together. If we don't allow ourselves to be distracted by our differences, if we put our hearts and minds together and stand as one, I am confident we will find new hope. I would be honored to stand with you. Not as a person of loftier rank, but as another human being among many. I hope that you'll lend me your strength, for if we can persevere as one, I know a bright tomorrow awaits.
Your speech seems to have done the trick. Looks like the city won't be descending into chaos after all.
I only pray the relief will tide the city over for the time being.
What you said earlier, about the Sovereign possibly not even existing, was it true?
It's still too premature to say with any certainty, but I believe so. This whole time, this world we've been fed was a lie, built on nothing but falsehoods.
But it can't all have been...
I can believe it. After everything I saw in the Forbidden Zone, what they did to Faria, it's the only explanation that makes sense.
But what about hierarchy, Avakir? Authority? The very foundations of Renan society? How can we live without someone to guide us?
I'd say we found someone capable of doing just that, wouldn't you?
You? You can't be serious.
I have business I must take care of first. But once everything is over, I shall return. But not as your sovereign, nor as a leader the likes of which the people here are used to, I think.
But how else do you propose to rule?
I'm not sure yet. All I have is a feeling that here in Lenegis, a new dawn is on the verge of breaking. One in which people won't be judged by birthright or on the power of their astral arts, but on other things. More important things. Things like, oh, I don't know, musical talent, for example.
When I bumped into you after all those years, I said you were no different. But I was wrong. Truth is, you were always different. I feel like maybe now I can finally begin to accept turn against death. To see a future.
You go finish whatever it is you've got to do. I'll hold down the fort here in Lenegis till you get back.
Thank you.
I guess you're not going to make it to Menancia for the foreseeable future, huh?
Indeed. Forgive me.
The people of Elda Menancia can look after themselves just fine. It's the ones here on Lenegis who need someone to guide them. Besides, with you leading the people here, it'll help spread the idea of coexistence beyond Menancia's borders that much faster.
Sounds like you're in it for the long haul.
How could I not be, after the second chance that I've been granted? From this day forth, I shall dedicate myself to the future inhabitants of this world. Though the memories of the departed shall remain forever in my heart.
Remember, you're going to be leading the people here, not ruling them.
True enough. Whatever would I do without you, Kisara?
With or without her, I suspect you're gonna have your hands full when the time comes. We should be heading back to the ship. Business on Rena awaits.
Oh, Dohalim, Renan leader. Oh, dapat ada jurus baru, Ground Dasher. Nanti aja deh.
Looks like the people of Lenegis can rest easy.
I couldn't have done it without your words of encouragement, Law.
Hey, you're the one who made the speech.
I think everybody can share the credit here.
What do you say we check back in on the ranch?
Kapalnya Lenegis tadi sempat mati lampu gitu ya karena generatornya mati, mungkin karena tadi ya ledakan yang tadi terjadi di dalamnya itu di Forbidden Area. Terus Sovereign nggak ngomong sama sekali, nggak nginfo apa-apa, kayak diem aja gitu. Ya Sovereign sendiri kan juga nggak tahu dia beneran ada atau enggak kan, Sovereign sendiri. Jadi kayaknya Sovereign itu juga nggak bisa bertindak apapun karena Sovereign itu juga nggak ada. Akhirnya malah Dohalim deh Dohalim yang malah ngasih speech, ngasih pidato untuk tenang aja, jangan apa-apa, jangan kenapa-napa, supaya tenang lah, supaya warga-warga pada tenang semua. Oke, kita rest aja dulu sedikit, HP kita penuhin sedikit. Oke, selanjutnya kita akan ke kapal, balik lagi ke kapal dan akan menuju ke Rena, planet Rena. Jadi kita akan lanjut di part berikutnya.